I'd like to welcome everyone to our Dillon County Council regular monthly meeting, January 22nd, 2020. We're going to start out by saying the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'll ask Mr. Jacour McCall to crowd feet and say the invocation.
Let us pray. Lord, thank you for allowing us just to being who you are in our lives. God, I pray for our leaders as they make some hard decisions for you today, Lord. I pray for our first responders and the sacrifice they made. And all that we do, God, let us always focus on you. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Number 3, approval of agenda requires a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Got a motion, need a second?
I second.
Motion and a second. All in favor? Any opposed? 4, approval of minutes. 9/25/19 regular, 12/11/19 regular, requires a motion.
I make the motion, you want to approve both of them at the same time?
Yes, sir.
Approve 9/25 and 12/11.
Got a motion, need a second.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor? Any opposed? 5, new business. A, election of chairman.
Chairman, we have 6 votes for Stevie Gross and 1 for Harold. Vice Chairman. Vice Chairman, got 1 for Buzzy, 2 for Buzzy, 3 Buzzy, 4 for Buzzy, 5 for Buzzy, 6 for Buzzy, and all 7 for Buzzy. Vice Chairman.
5C, Christina Fowler, Friends of the Dillon County Library.
Present. Is Christina Fowler present? Friends of Dillon County Library.
5D, Jerry Berry, Dillon School Historical Foundation.
I'm Alicia Berry.
I'm Jerry Berry, and when I called yesterday, I asked her to be either or because I had doctor's appointments in Florence and I didn't know I'd be back. If it's all right, can she do the presentation for me?
Along with him, of course. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Nice meeting you, ladies and gentlemen, and council meeting. I am Alicia Berry, and I'm representing the Dillon Historic School Foundation, which has the vision of renovating the old auditorium, 1936 auditorium. Although that's a very hard and expensive job to do, and we've got to wait probably 2 or 3 years or more. And so the auditorium is a venue to present shows. So in the meantime, we are bringing to Dillon, to our loved Dillon, great shows, professional shows. And that's what I want to talk about, because we would like to have the county council's support, of course, and everybody in the community. Our first show that will be, oh, this is a very good, exciting thing to tell you. The first show will be the original Drifters, and it's going to be performed at the new high school auditorium, which is right next to the administrative offices here on 301. Jerry and I went to tour the facility. I'm sure that many of you here have seen it, but I hadn't. I taught in Dillon High School, and I loved it. I'm a teacher, and so if I'm repeating myself, you know why I'm repeating, because teachers repeat things all the time. Okay, so anyway, we went to tour the facility, and it is gorgeous. It's a fantastic facility. So we're so excited to have these guys, the original Drifters, come and perform for us February the 21st at 7 p.m. at the new Dillon High School auditorium. In April, and then I'll give you some handouts, because everybody needs to know a little bit more about it. In February, we're gonna February the 24th. No, April. I'm sorry. Thank you. See, that's what I needed. April the 24th. We're going to have
From Dolly Parton's Theater.
Yes, a variety extravaganza, which is a wonderful show. Jerry and I go to shows all the time, out of town, way out of town, out of state, and we started thinking, why not Dillon? We need to have Dillon with exciting shows for our people in Dillon, and so why not us? And so that's my exciting pitch. So I will pass out to you, gentlemen and ladies here, what I have.
Let me share this first.
Okay.
We're asking different organizations and clubs, etc., to become sponsors, and these are the levels of support we're asking for. And for groups, organizations, government, councils, if you decide to become a supporter at any level, she's got this on cards too. If you get, for the performances right now, the federal law, we cannot give you anything in return, but we can give you preferred seating at the venue in the front and center section of the auditorium, the Dillon High School auditorium, which is beautiful. And we can also give you you get first chance to buy tickets. And we think this show, the Drifters, the original Drifters, will be a sellout. There are only 500 seats in that theater, and you'll get preferred seating, and you also get first chance to buy your tickets, no matter what level of support you choose for yourself. So anyway.
I would like to, don't feel that I'm not paying attention to you, ladies and gentlemen, but I'm going to give this gentleman here what I have, and because I think it's worth while your time. Stand by, please. If you have any questions, Jerry knows all the answers. I know basically all the answers too, but not all of them. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much.
So while she's doing that, we would very much like for the county council to become a supporter. We also invite individuals to become supporters. So that's what she's doing. We also have brochures for the foundation itself. This activity she's talking about is it's a project that's under the foundation. It's called DHSF Presents, and that's when we start bringing in professional shows. 2 for this season, and next year, starting in September, we'll bring 4 professional acts to Dillon. What do you? That's it.
This is okay. Is that all? Okay. If you have any questions, I can give you a number to call. It's going to be in the paper. Did you say that?
It's been in the paper already.
Yeah, and the new Dillon Herald this week, Johnny, right? Very good. There's going to be a very nice explanatory article about what's coming up and where you need to call. Jerry here, that's the number down here with 2774 at the end. That's him, and he knows all the answers. And the other number that you will see on the paper will be for the lady that's going to take reservations for your tickets.
That starts on February the 2nd.
The 2nd. So I hope to see you all, and I would love for you to support us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do that?
Thank you, yes.
Okay.
Thank you for your attention.
Thank you.
5E, bids for groundwater monitoring and landfill.
This is required by DHEC to keep a landfill groundwater monitor. In the past, you might know, Arcadis has been doing it for a long time. But with the vertical expansion, we've kind of switched over to Smith Gardner to help Charlie with the vertical expansion part, mainly because they're close by and they kind of come back and forth. They go to Columbia to Raleigh, they'll stop by and kind of check on things. But we want to try to switch the groundwater monitoring from Arcadis to Smith Gardner. We got both proposals in your package.
One of something like 26,000, the next plus 27,000, and another 21,000. Is it the same thing they're doing?
No, it should be the same thing. I think one was 27.6. I think Arcadis was like 49.9, I believe. 49,625.
This is considerably cheaper too.
Yeah.
Not only that, the one that we're looking at going to is a lot more responsive than Arcadis has been over the past few years. It's been very difficult to get them to really move on anything if we have any issues. So that's one of the reasons why we are actually preferring Smith Gardner.
Requires a motion.
You have a recommendation on, you've been dealing with?
Yeah, they've been very responsive as far as that with the vertical expansion Smith Gardner has.
I make a motion that we accept Smith Gardner's bid.
Got a motion in a second.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any more discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? All right. F, fire truck station 4 discussion.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, one of the firemen contacted me on yesterday, and he was concerned about the fire truck that they have at Station 4, which serves my district, Dillon County, and our district, and the truck was not passed the pump inspection. And I think it's the only truck he said he had at that time, and they were in desperate need of another truck. Have you got anything you want to say on that?
Well, I just know that the original truck that opened that station up 15 years ago was used we bought it in town call, and it failed the pumping test, and you need 2 trucks that will pass the pumping test to keep the ISO rating. And everybody's insurance is gonna go up. If we don't do this, you'll have to do some mighty careful, backups with other fire departments. But I think this is the best avenue for us to take, is if we can get this truck that's already been certified, passed the test, and it's got a good engine in it for $10,000. I think that's cheap insurance.
They want to find the truck, how for that?
They already have it. I mean, they don't have it. They get located. It's certified, it's already passed.
Mr. Chair, for Will, that particular area, Fire Station 4, it has a lot of houses in that district. It covers the Riverdale area, PD Church Road, and also it covers the Mount Carrier area and beyond. It is a station that is in great demand. Definitely trying to do that.
Mr. Clark,
Yes.
did we buy that with the bond we got? If we purchased maybe with the bond?
Yeah, we definitely have room in the bond. I mean, that's something we can do
I know we
with the
can't
bond.
buy a new truck. I hate to see us buy used trucks. That's what we'd be having to do, because we don't have the money to buy a new one. But I hope in the budget we can put one in, so we can rotate them, every department to get one over, say, a 6-year period or whatever.
Yeah, I think
We gotta do something now, I understand that.
Yeah.
He speaks good of this truck, it's a diesel, and it has a real good engine in it. And from what I can understand, the fire department has is they just bought a new one, there was nothing wrong with it, they just purchased a new one.
Alan, we definitely can get that with the bond, right?
I make the motion that we purchase it, 10,000.
Do we need to move? Do we have to agree to get it from the bond now, or can we?
No, I think you.
Okay. Okay.
You got a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? 5G recreational request.
We have 2 recreational requests. One of them is for Lady Lightning Gold. It's a softball team, a travel softball team. It's got girls from Loudon, Lakeview, and Dillon. Stevie Grice is giving 200. Anybody else want to?
You give 100?
Okay.
Same thing.
I would give them 100.
Next one is for the Dillon High School Band. They hosting their 16th annual Dillon Battle of the Bands competition. They have up to 25 high school bands, from Florida, Georgia, North and South Carolina. And they're currently asking for donations. They got several levels. The title sponsor is $2,000, gold sponsor is $1,000, silver sponsor is $500, and the bronze sponsor is $300. Okay, that's it.
It requires a motion.
Make that motion, Mr. Chair, we approve the recreation request.
Got a motion, need a second? Second. Motion and a second, any more discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? 6, old business. A, employees conducting business.
Okay, from last meeting, we were asked to come up with some sort of policy that we could actually vote on. As far as personnel policy on conducting business, spoke with Alan, and it was suggested that we place that under Section 1, Policy 5, Section B, and it reads as such: no employee shall conduct or solicit any outside business during their paid working hours. This includes work for other employers, work for business owned by an employee, or work that will benefit an employee or other private individual. No employee shall use county tools, equipment, or property for any other purpose other than official county business. Other than official government business. And that's how it reads.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
What are you going to do to make sure that, just for the taxpayers that might not know, and I'm a little ignorant on it, with the county employees, how many county employees do you have altogether?
It's a little over 240.
Okay. Do you have a plan in place to let all these employees know so that they won't get in trouble and be ignorant about?
Yes. Yes. You know, I meet with all the different supervisors and department heads, and what we'll be doing is spreading it through them, and then, you know, I'll individually go to each department and meet with them. You know, we should probably consider a time period that, say, to postpone actually going into effect. Give me a chance to at least get the word out to everyone that this is going to be in effect. You know, maybe a bit of a grace period, but we definitely need to have some sort of policy in place.
Would there be an exception if you have, like, somebody was trying to have a fundraiser at the fire department for somebody in a kidney transplant or something like that?
You know, those are not necessarily for employers and for a business. That's a fundraiser, nonprofit fundraiser. And I know that can be a slippery slope as well. That can be something people try to take advantage of for their nonprofit that they're getting paid through. But for a fundraiser, I don't think that fits into this particular policy here. Would you think that fits?
Just out of curiosity, have you had much of a problem with this before now?
We have. We've had, and I don't want to get anybody specifically, but we've had quite a few people that have taken advantage of, you know, county equipment, county property, whether it's equipment or computers or whatever, to do personal business. So we have had that, and it does interfere with, you know, all types of things when it comes to IT and just them being on the clock when they're supposed to be. You know, it does interfere. So we have had some problems, and that's why we're just trying to address it now.
Where's the motion?
I make that motion, Mr. Chair.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any more discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? B, employee bonus policy.
Okay, so we've had over the past year or so since I've been here, we've had quite an issue with the bonuses. Every time they come out, there's just some kind of, it's not really a policy there, and so no one knows who's supposed to get the bonus and who's not supposed to get the bonus. And I just think it's fair for the employees to know in a policy who's eligible for bonuses and how much they're eligible for. And we've searched for some sort of policy in the past that addressed this, and there has been none. And in fact, I'm not really sure about the actual voting on the bonuses themselves. We haven't found anything of that. And I just realized that after we even put this in here, that we can't find where you guys even voted on a bonus, even years ago. So the least we need to do is make sure that since we're giving them, that they have some sort of policy in here as to who gets it. And I'll read the policy. From time to time, the county may give bonuses to its employees. Bonuses are not guaranteed, and not all employees may qualify to receive a bonus. Eligibility to receive a bonus is based upon the amount of time an employee has worked for the county at the time the bonus is paid. Determination of the amount of bonus to be paid an employee will be prorated based on the following. Full-time employees with 30 days of employment will receive 50%. Full-time employees with 90 days of employment will receive 100%. Part-time employees with 30 days of employment will receive 25%. And part-time employees with 90 days of employment will receive 50%. Temporary employees are not entitled to bonuses. So it's basically a 30-90 policy. When you're here for 30 days, then you're then you're scheduled to receive half of the bonus. Half of the bonus that you're entitled. Full-time employees are entitled to full bonus. Part-time usually get half a bonus. So half of that would be 25%, as noted here. Once you pass your probationary period of 90 days, then employees are eligible for the full bonus. And, you know, we've done a lot of different things in the past, but it's just probably time that we actually have something concrete, because we do run into issues all the time when those bonuses come out as to who gets them and who doesn't.
Tony, who would be considered the temporary employees? And what years do we get?
I don't, yeah, we don't really have a temporary employees.
I know that you read it, that's why I'm just asking.
Right, and you know, if we get someone that, for instance, we did have someone that worked over the summer. You know, that person wouldn't get one. If we do something in the summer with maybe trash pickup and that kind of stuff, if it's temporary, or if we have a special project we need to complete and somebody's working temporarily, then they wouldn't be eligible for the bonus.
Mr. Clyde, who come up with this? I mean, how did this come up? I mean, I understand the last discussion I was in, and certainly you talked about doing something like this, but what was the round table discussion that? Was it the administrative committee was involved in this? Or how did this come into being? That's what I'm saying.
You mean as far as this policy?
Yeah,
no, this isn't anything that came into being. This just is a proposal.
Right, that's what I'm saying. But how did you get together your intelligence?
This is a proposal that my office put together, and it was not within discussion from the council.
Any different suggestions, maybe?
Probably need to go back and probably talk about it or tape it or something. Because the reason I'm saying this is because county council make policies. We're policy makers. And I think it would be fitting to have an administrative meeting and at least talk about how we want to craft this.
Well, let me say this. You know what? I don't mind tabling this, because our next bonus is when? September? That's fine. We can get together the administrative committee, and we can executive committee, and we can get together and come up with something. If anyone has any other suggestions, this is just a policy that mirrors a lot of other counties and a lot of other employee entities. You know, your initial time period, and then whatever probation time period you have is when you get the full bonus, and that's basically where this came from. So,
May I make a suggestion?
yes.
And whether we table it or vote on it. I think a full-time employee with just 30 days of employment shouldn't get a 50% bonus. They just started, and I don't think that's fair to the people that have been here the entire year or half a year. What I think we need to do, and this is just food for thought for this council, I think we need a full-time employee, I would say with, I hate to say it, but I'd say 90 days would get 50%, and a full-time employee with with 90 days, well, I'd move that up. I'd change that first one to 90 days. If somebody comes to work and gets the same bonus that I got, and I've been here 6 months, or if somebody comes to work and they work full, 90 days, I'd be upset if I'd been
here. Ready about a month. But if you've been here 1 month, you get 112. If you've been here 6 months, you get half,
Well, I think that's a fair way to do it, because if I've been here a whole year and you get the same bonus that I get, I would be upset.
Well, this discussion that you're having is a perfect example where we need to table it. Am I right or wrong?
I agree.
That's fine. Like I said, we got plenty of time before this will come into effect, so that's not a problem.
We have a motion to table.
I make the motion to table.
Second.
Got a motion to table and a second. Any more discussion? All in favor of the table? All right. 7, finance report.
Okay. This is as of January 17th. General fund has $3,416,682. Accounts payable come out of that is $1,229,398, which leaves us a net available and a general fund of $2,187,283.
Has all our tax money been allocated to us yet?
No, we usually probably got about 40%.
Got about 40% so far.
Yeah, probably 60%, I'd say, probably comes from January 1 and January 15.
All right, 8, ordinances. A, third reading of ordinance by Dillon County Council to amend the text of the RS-3 district special exemptions. Can you refresh us on that?
And that's the mobile home, isn't that the mobile home part changes?
I got you. Okay. All right, requires a motion.
I make that motion.
You have a motion, need a second. Motion and a second, any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? 9, administrative report.
Good evening. Just have a few things I want to discuss real quick. First of all, just to let you know, Dillon County has hired a full-time mechanic that will begin on Monday, February 3rd, 2020. So we're glad to see if we have someone that we can put in that position. The next thing, Town of Lakeview has terminated their fire service for the town, and as a result, they've agreed to donate their equipment to Dillon County. We haven't had a full survey of that equipment, but we'll be putting it to use. And that's one thing we need to probably look at as far as where we're going to put, because there were 2 trucks, and we're not exactly sure about, condition and testing and that kind of thing, but we're going to take care of that. And we certainly want to thank the town of Lakeview and their citizens for agreeing to help us out with that. But I just wanted to let everyone know that that was taking place. The next thing, we have received written confirmation from South Carolina DOT as to the legality of our gravel project. We've gotten a written letter from Joe Stone of South Carolina DOT, and it says that the project is legal and has been conducted the exact same way in every other county in South Carolina. So I just wanted to let everyone know that we did get that confirmation, and we did slow up waiting for this written confirmation, so we hadn't been doing much. And we actually didn't even have a chance to go back onto one of the roads that we finished and do the smoothing process where we roll over it. And that was because the DOT asked us just to wait for this written confirmation, asked the CTC. And because CTC is the one that controls it, they said that they asked that we wait before we go back out there and do anything else to it. So we have, and so we're going to go ahead and continue with that as soon as the weather permits. It's not really ideal to do it when it's so cold, but as soon as the weather permits, we're going to go back out there and smooth that over. And I'm talking about Corey's Court over in your district. It's still got ridges, but we're going to smooth it over and get it right.
Okay.
The last thing, we will be doing employee evaluations, and I will be, of course, as a courtesy to the council, I'll give you a copy of that and let you see what we're going to be doing. But that's going to go out in February, those employee evaluations, just so that we can see where we are with our county employees and what they're doing. But that's all I have. If there are any questions, I'll be glad to entertain them.
I got 2 things.
Yes.
The first is update on the PDRTA. How are we with that?
Okay, so we have a meeting at the end of this month, beginning of February. I'm sorry, they just changed the meeting yesterday to February 18th or 19th, one of those dates that we're going to meet again. And the purpose of that meeting is to see where we are locally with our local partners that are supposed to be contributing, which we've gotten pretty far with that, and to make sure that the state and the federal government's on board still and for them to give their input. But we did have some delay, and those kind of things happen when you're talking about a project this size. We do get delayed sometimes, but we're meeting, and that's still in progress.
The second one is the firemen that need the Fire Quarter 1 course. I think we had like 6 that didn't have it.
It was 11. It was 11 out of about 100 firefighters that actually it was 6 for the firefighter 1, but 11 total that needed either firefighter 1, pump ops, all this other training. So we have about 100 firemen on our force, when you add on engineers, chiefs, and volunteers. And there were about 11 who didn't have the proper training. Of those 11, we actually have, I think, 8 or 9 that are enrolling in class, the next class that we have. So at least about 2 or 3 that we're urging to get going and get those classes. So as it turns out, you know, our strengthening of our policy and our training requirements isn't really going to affect our, you know, our force as far as the number of people that we have on that force. It'll just strengthen it. So.
Could you give us some encouragement? And I don't want to put Randy Grimsley on the spot or you, but just for the sake of the taxpayers, could you bring us up to date on what kind of shape we're in with EMS employees? Yeah,
we are still looking to hire more EMS employees. We have enough to run the service. It's not as many as we would like. You know, we are running a good bit of overtime in that service. We're running people having to work a lot of hours, and as you know, anyone who works a lot of hours, you know, there'll be some issues with being tired and that kind of thing. So we are looking to hire more EMS workers. One thing that we're doing is we're upgrading the facility, the EMS facility, headquarters here in Dillon, in the city of Dillon, right there off of East Main. And we're not doing any heavy duty work. We're just making sure the bathroom is up to par, the shower. They actually live in that facility, so we want to at least make sure it's something that they can, you know, live in. And we do think that may have some impact on why we are not retaining people. I mean, they just do. You gotta understand it. If you was you would want to be somewhere that has proper security, that has proper facilities, and so we're going to try to maintain that for them as well. So that's one of the things we're doing to help that situation. Yes.
Mr. Clapper, will you help me on the lighting area in Newtown? Because some people calling want to know, can we get lights over here?
Yeah. Okay. So about the lighting situation, what was that's part of a much bigger project that we're trying to initiate in Dillon County. First of all, I got calls from Duke Energy, PD Electric, Marlboro Electric. They're looking at turning all of our lights into LEDs, and with that, you know, the price of the lights are going to be a lot less per light, which will allow us to go in and put some lighting in some areas that didn't have lighting. How much, we'll find out. But the lighting in Newtown, that was a situation where, as you're well aware, that's your district, you're well aware, you know, right on that street, the main street, it was just pitch black. And like a lot of other streets in the county, I'm not saying other streets aren't like that, but at the same time, we were having issues with crime on that street and streets away from there. And so, you know, we don't have any input with, as far as the sheriff department, how they do what they're doing. But one thing we can do is assist a little bit when we have problem areas, real problem areas, and that's why we put the lighting there first.
That Dawson Street,
yes.
A couple years ago, I had some lights put on that street because that's the one they was complaining about the most.
Right.
And I had some lights put on that. But now a lady's calling me back over there next to the cemetery behind going to school. She just asked if she get one put over there like I told her. All I can do is take your complaint and carry it back to you and ask you to
well, let me say this. We would like to get lights in everyone's areas, not just in Newtown. I think Riverdale needs some lights as well. In Little Rock, down in Floydale, there are areas all over the county. Tall Pines, you have areas all over the county that are really dark. We can't get every last one of them, but what we're trying to focus on are some problem areas that we're eliminating crime as well. And so that's one of the reasons why we put the lights where we did, because those were the areas that we identified, and I had the help of Mr. Abraham, who went with me and identified some areas that, you know, they had gotten some calls about. And so that's why we decided to put those lights in that area. But it wasn't a lot of them. And again, in all fairness, we need to put lights in other parts of the county before we go back into Newtown and do other areas of Newtown. I mean, the other areas have problems too.
They just called me saying, well, why that one got lights and I didn't get no lights.
Well, you know, that anytime you do something for a group of people, you're going to have other people that's going to ask why they can't get the same thing. And I understand that. But again, we do have to prioritize. We don't have a lot of money to be spending on this. We really don't have any. But again, because of the fact that I was approached by Duke Energy about the LED project and the fact that we would get some leeway on getting some lights put up, and because we also, now you gotta understand, this was started back in October. Actually, it was in, it may have been in September when we actually really started talking about it, because during that time, if you remember, right after the summertime, we had that rash of violence over there in Newtown. People were asking to do something to assist with what was going on, and you know, I can't command sheriff cars. That's not part of my job. But one thing I can do is at least help, you know, in the areas where we can help, and so that's why we decided to put that there. So again, I know that there's a lot of need for lights.
I understand it, but they don't understand it. When they get to see the lights going up here and then they won't.
And you're right.
I don't know what to tell them.
You're right, and but again, like I said,
people so much with them.
Yeah, and like I said, in all fairness to the rest of the county, we do have some areas, you know, all over. Oak Grove has some really dark areas. Every district has a lot of these darker areas that are residential. And some of these areas are so bad that even when you have your lights on your car, you still can't really see the side of the road so good. And you got some of these intersections. I know over in House District, there's some intersections over there in some of these neighborhoods, you can't even tell if you're going in the ditch or not. I mean, it's really bad over there. And so, we need to get throughout the rest of the county, and if we have enough money, then we come back around and do some other areas. But that's what.
One of the things that hit the wheel, they want to know about when we're going to start back tearing down houses. I said, all I can tell you, I'll get Mr. Cladd and I'll go put the request in.
Okay, well let me say this about that. We have, and this is in all fairness to our roads and bridges crew, okay? They're concentrating on, right now we've had rains, they're concentrating on getting the roads, you know, put together. Because we're not behind, but we just have a lot of roads that are in bad shape because of the rains that we had over the past couple of weeks. So they're doing that. They're also, that same crew is the one responsible for putting the dirt on top of the C&D part of the landfill. And we had to do that in order to stay compliant with DHEC. That same crew is doing the gravel project. You know, and that same crew is actually, we have a new initiative with our drainage, that we're trying to take care of our drainage in some of these areas.
Just kind of help them understand. I understand that.
Well, and I'm glad you asked the question, because I'm able to actually voice this to everyone.
Clear it up with them.
That Road and Bridges crew, you know, we have a lot of work we need to do with them. And, you know, they just can't do it all at one time.
Right.
The next thing they're doing, and they did take about 3 weeks, the whole crew went out there to the landfill to make sure that we were up to date with DHEC as far as the dirt on top of that pile. And then we had the rain, so we had to get everyone working on that. Before that, it was the gravel. And so, again, we got them stretched out pretty good. That same crew is responsible for trash pickup, which, by the way, we're going to try to give ourselves some relief on that, because, you know, we've talked with the sheriff department, and we are going to be looking at some ticketing. And we're going to look at going in the bags and getting letters out and getting addresses and giving out tickets. Before we were told that wouldn't stand up, but you know, other counties are doing it and they're doing it very effectively. So we're going to start doing that as well. So that may give us some relief with our trash pickup as well. But that Road and Bridges crew is one of our busiest ones.
I understand that. I didn't want you to explain that to them.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't
just
mind
ain't quit. It ain't nothing we can do about it.
No, it's that is definitely not your fault. It's not their fault.
Right.
You know, they're working as hard as they can work.
I got a question. For my ignorance and the taxpayers' information, if you have it off the top of your head, could you tell us how much when we ride by a pole with a light on it, how much it's costing us taxpayers per month?
It depends on how bright it is. You know, those LED lights can be anywhere from $5 to about $13 a month. The very, very bright ones, like you see maybe downtown, those are going to be like, those are not really for residential areas. Those would be like maybe $15 a month. But the ones you typically see are going to be about, the really bright ones you see are going to be about $9 a month per light. And now with the incandescent bulbs, those are going to be about $3 more per month. So it doesn't sound like a lot, but when you talk about a 25 to 20% savings on lights, then that means you can put up a lot of lights in other areas if you can get those converted. And that's why we're working on doing it that way. Anything else? All right. Thank you.
All right. 10 appointments. A, Planning Commission, District 1, James County. 11, executive session, contractual services, elevator, litigation, AWS, economic development, Candyland. Requires a motion.
Make a motion, Mr. Chair.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? We are now going into executive session. There is no action.